Hi all, I wanted to make this video because I wanted you to see a very real side of me. I want to be honest, I want to be totally vulnerable to how I address these situations that are happening right now. There's a lot of information that's out there, and I feel it's very important that I share with you the knowledge that I may receive, I might know, because for some of you, the knowledge I might be sharing might sound really out there, okay, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is mainly for those who understand and they are hearing what I'm saying. Now, there might be many of you who don't know this about me, but I have been a truth seeker for many years. Since my teens, a lot of events happened, a lot of things made me question life, question my path, my spiritual journey, my religion. Who am I? What is this world all about? And by doing this, I ended up going down a rabbit hole, several rabbit holes, and I was exposed to some knowledge. I started to see the world in a different way, which I didn't want to believe, and it's taken me 20 years possibly to make sense of a lot of it, but not make sense of what I understood, but to always see things unfold. So for those of you who do know, the world that we live in is constructed of different, things happening. Like, the way we're influenced generally is through media. We're told what to wear, what to eat, what's good for us, what's not good for us, what we need to learn, who we need to be. We're easily controlled by fear when we watch the news. We're happy when we look at the likes on our social media, and we get excited when we look at things like Facebook, which were, tools to really bring the world and the community together, but on a deeper level has also affected us at a cellular level, and a mental health level. Now, what I want to share with you today is based on current events that are happening. Some of you might be a little bit scared, fearful, might have anxiety, which is totally fine. Okay, that's natural emotions that are coming up. Because to be honest, so I get anxious and fearful here and there. We're human, but we need to be able to center ourselves again. Okay, and the way we do this is literally being able to see the world with new eyes. Don't become a part of the narrative, what's actually happening, but then step outside the narrative and look at the story and the world as a whole. And what I mean by that is that when you're looking at what's happening in the world from an outsider's perspective, it looks like a big show and a big drama. And for those of you who might be into conspiracy theories, guess what? I do a lot of research on that. But a lot of it can also take you into a very dark place. It can get you fearful, it can get you anxious, and you start wondering, what's going to happen with the cyber chipping and, this whole one world order, and which, some of you may believe is true, some of you think is totally false, and there's no judgment. My message is to be aware and build your own self-awareness up. Okay. So since I've been a teen, as I said, a lot of events shifted the way I looked at life, and that took me down this very special spiritual journey. I was able to train with great masters, and they have blessed and helped me be attuned to certain things that I didn't know existed. And just to put this in perspective about what I'm talking about here is, most of us, we're all connected. When we're at a young age, before the age of 3, we are very connected to the system until we start to learn things which make us separate from the world. We're told things don't exist, so then therefore we believe these things don't exist. Now, at a young age, I didn't realize I could do this until my later years. And my teachers in life, my spiritual teachers, told me about what I was experiencing. And as a kid, I used to see a lot. And as in, not, I saw life, but I used to see things that aren't there. And some people might term it as ghosts. I used to see a man, standing in, a certain place in our area. And this guy didn't exist. I used to think there was a dog. There's no dog. So there's things that I thought were there but were never there, and they were confirmed by family members and people around me to say, hey, that stuff wasn't there. And then in my teen years, as I was going into my 20s, I started to learn a lot more about myself. I started having more different experiences. I became attuned and in a nutshell had different experiences to make me feel that the world we live in, one, is much more beautiful than the one we think we currently live in, and also the one that we live in is also a play. It feels like a lot of things that you're seeing are very masked. So what I mean by that, there are people that seem true but are false, and there are people that are being demonized as false that are actually our saviors. Okay, so at the moment, yes, you're probably really confused about what I'm talking about, and Chaz, get straight to the point. Well, I wanted to share something with you that I received as a message the other day, and please bear with me because these kind of videos might be a bit longer than the usual, but I want to make sure that every detail is addressed. And I received a message from my higher self, from my angels, which I speak to, and I have notes on the laptop, so if you see me referring to a screen there, it's just I want to make sure I'm telling you every single thing that's come in to share for this video. Okay, so the message that we've received, and I've personally received, is that I wanted to share this message because it has been shared from my angels, and we all have angels, and sometimes hearing about angels can sound a bit woo-woo out there, but angels are very real entities. They're talked about in many scriptures. Types of spirituality talk about angels, but I think the relationship we have with angels is always hazy. It's always a bit, you don't know what the term angel means and what it is, and because you can't see them, you can't believe in them, but some people do feel them. Okay, so I'm talking to you, those of you who get what I'm talking about right now. For those of you who don't, it's fine. Okay, you're probably thinking I'm totally nuts, and I respect that. That's fine, no judgment. Now, when I connect to the angels, I receive messages if I want to know about a certain situation. Sometimes they're very clear, sometimes they're a bit hazy. And with this situation that's going on, I wanted to really tap into what the angels are telling me, what for me personally to do, and what I can do to maybe help others. Because I do receive a lot of messages asking me about certain meditations. What can we do at times like this? I don't know how to meditate. I'm getting anxiety. I'm feeling fearful, and I just want to say to you that I will be releasing a lot of meditations, a lot of exercises, and things that really help me, and really make sense of the situation. But before I start giving you meditations and all of these kind of things, it's really important that we understand how powerful we are as human beings. Don't look at yourself as a human being. Okay, you got to look at yourself as if you are a god, because you are. Okay, what you think you know about yourself is nothing. They say that we only know 10% of ourselves, that we only use 10% of our mind. I don't think that's true. People are using more than that. But just imagine if we were using 100% of our mind, what we would be capable of. And we need to be asking questions about why aren't we using 100% of our mind? What's these barriers? What's these limitations? Now, the fact is, there are limitations and we can't see them. And although they're obviously out there, we can't see them because they're a part of our experience, our world. Everything we see outside we think it's real because it's just there. Okay, and these projections of light, everything that comes in, is creating the story in the mind that this is real. Now, what I'm trying to get to is that when we're able to change the narrative, change the story, change the identification with yourself, like changing who you think you are. You think you're this male of this ethnicity, and this is your name, this is your age, this is where I live, I have these many hobbies, I love that sport, I support this team, I love this food, I like this type of girl, I like that type of man, whatever it is. Okay, we create this story, and this creates our I am. And when we live in this I am, this is our identification, this is our our unique personality, and no one else can be like us, and that is me, and that is you. Now, what's happened is we've created these identities. I've got this many followers, and therefore I think I'm a superstar, I'm an influencer, but you're still nothing. It's just digitalized numbers. Okay, so it's yourself creating this, people love me, and they respect me, and I can do great things, and you can. But all of that stuff is a bit all is made up. It's an illusion. Okay, now when we can step out of the illusion, you can start looking at yourself in a different way. You can connect to parts of you in a much deeper level. And the reason I always say look within, look within, look within, because we spend most of our life looking out for answers, and everything we're looking for is within. But a lot of us don't have a map. We don't know the journey. We don't have the right guides. And excuse me. So we don't have the right guides. We don't have the knowledge. A lot of it seems scary. A lot of it's new. And it comes. Some people just say, when it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and when it's your time, it's your time. But we can actively be doing things to help ourselves now. And things to help ourselves now is really about asking questions and trying to help yourself look at things in a different way, look at who you are as a person, what are your values, are you in line with your own values, do you follow your own values, or do you do something, practice a certain type of practice, whether it be religion or spiritual, and you're not really doing what the practice says. It's the time for us to really reflect, because people are going crazy when they're shopping out there, and that's from panic. But you're seeing people who look like you, who say they follow a certain faith, really disrespecting other people. I've seen videos of people snatching, spitting, fighting, insulting, swearing, and it's not just from people like me. There's people from all different cultures having these same situations. But what happened to all of this peace and love and religion and these ideas of oneness? This is the test of time we're in currently. This is where you will start to realize what your friend is like, what your neighbor is like, what your family member is like when you ask for some medicine and they can't deliver. If you need some toilet paper but they need it for themselves, if you need help and they're too scared to come and help you. So a lot of characters will show who they really are. And again, it's also with me, like I'm peeling away different layers, because for me to speak like this for the first time is a new thing, because I like the motivational, I want to teach you spiritual things, I want to teach you about meditation and healing, but to step up and talk about things that I've known for a long time and I've wanted to speak about, but there's been a barrier of fear based on what people might think. Okay, people might not be with it, people might not get it, they might demonize you, they might think you're nuts, who does he think he is, all these kind of questions I might have. Now the truth is, if I don't do it now, then I might feel that I'm keeping too much knowledge which actually could benefit even one person, and if one person can benefit and ask me questions, then I'm here to help. If you want to totally disregard what I'm saying, it's totally fine. It's only my view, my opinion. So with that being said, I want to share this message that I've received, and it's very much about the situation, and it's really talking about how we're seeing the world right now. We're looking at it from a very deformed and hazy perspective. There's a lot of distortion, and that distortion is coming from the way we see life, the way we're choosing what lens to see things at the moment. So if you change a lens, for example, you can see a different picture. If you change your lens to a wide lens, you see more of it. If you choose it to a focal lens, a tight lens, you're going to see less of it. Okay, if you put a filter on it, it can be color, or if you want to put another filter on it, it's black and white. Now, a lot of what's happening is really about how you're looking at the world. You know, there's a lot of information out there, and we are living in the information age, and this is an age that you can go and Google and find out a million things about a million things. Okay, and some of it will overwhelm you, but this information that you're receiving, the issue we have is how we deal with this information. Okay, not only is it affecting our mind, our nervous system, and how we're communicating, we're not releasing it from the subconscious, so we're storing more information, and then it's coming into our conscious state, and we don't know how to focus or get that clarity that we need for the day. Now, what is happening is there's a lot of fear-led emotions. Now, don't get me wrong, this virus is very real. Okay, it is a very real virus, but there are things triggering it to make it look sensationalized. Okay, it looks a lot bigger than it is, and you know, everyone is doing a great job. Our NHS in the UK are doing a great job. People around the world in the medical sector, and people who are doing service or just helping people get through these times, great, that's fantastic. So the virus is real, okay, and it can and will be resolved, you know, and we're being told to go inside, which totally respect, and we should be going inside. And this isn't one of those conspiracy things, but it might be linked to a few things that I might talk about a bit later or in another video. It's not just because of spreading the virus, there's a lot more at play right now. Okay, now what else I've been told is that we need to be asking our own guides, we need to ask our own spirit guides, our own angels, to help us and intervene with our own free will, our own choices. Okay, so at the moment we have angels that are just waiting behind us, and they're waiting to be summoned. Look at them as if they are just waiting for your instruction. Okay, so when you do a prayer, whoever you may pray to, whatever you believe in, you know, we believe in it, we pray to it because it gives us a sense of hope, and there's some things when we pray it becomes real, and that's probably set from the intention, that's the vibration that we give out. Now with the angels, they're there, they can help us, they're pure entities, they're, you know, there are all types of angels, and you're probably wondering, what kind of angels are you talking about, what do they look like? There's hundreds of different types of angels. Okay, and the way we're interpreting this situation is pretty hazy, and although our angels are there, we need to start being able to start seeing day as day and night as night again, because at the moment we're starting to see night as day and day as night. That's how much confusion and conflict is causing with the mind, because we've got no perspective right now. So our angels are here to help us with clarity, if that's what you want. If you want to be healed, if you want a situation to be helped, you can call them in for that. As I said, the Buddha said, in these times you must remember we are not alone. Your angels, our angels, are here to help. One important thing that we totally miss when it comes to spirituality or any kind of consciousness or being awake or aware is that we think from here a lot. Okay, we think we are the mind, but we're not just the mind. There's a mind body, and the body has a mind as well. Okay, so we need to move into the heart center. When we can move into the heart center straight away, when you know what happens when you move your hand to your heart center, it's a completely different feeling. It moves from the thinking and trying to analyze and trying to get perspective from things, from ego, to pure love. Okay, and that's not a woo-woo thing. It's a very real energy, and when we can connect to this energy of love and sit in the heart, and you know what's true, you know what's real, you know what's right. So we're being told to hold our heart center and bring out love. We've got to choose love, hold it as a gift, and hold it because it's precious. And how you use it is going to be very important. Okay, not to say that you should restrict loving others, but your love is so powerful, and when we get to use it in the right way, will make a real difference. Not for only yourself, I'm talking about self-love as well, but for others. So they're letting us know that the power of our intention is also very powerful. Okay, now if you have a question and you don't know how to maybe ask through a prayer, or you don't know how to say the phrase right, if you're asking, who are you asking to, and this isn't a prayer to someone who's going to come and help you. We're asking this universal divine creator, this energy, the source. We're asking our angels to come and help us. But when your intention is right, the universe will listen. So don't ever think that what you're saying is wrong, because your vibration you give off is very, very strong. The whole process of what's happening right now is a clearing. It's a time to clear your past and be released. Be released from things that have been holding you back, people who have been holding you back, ideas who have been holding you back. You're being released from yourself. If you take the opportunity to, you will be able to free yourself. How do I do that? Is a big question. How do I know I'm even imprisoned? How do I know that I'm not free already? I'm a free spirit, I do what I want. Yes, but you get scared every time you see something, panic. Or you do the reverse and you think you're some kind of hero when you need to be doing something right. So it's a process of really connecting to your awareness. And now your awareness is everywhere. Okay, when we talk about spirituality is just not this. It's not again a woo-woo thing. Spirituality, people use that word very widely, but it's knowing yourself, knowing nature, knowing the water, the air, the earth, the stars. It's everything, being connected to everything and seeing yourself interconnected with everyone. Okay. We're being confined by the way we think. We're becoming prisoners in our own mind. So we think we're not imprisoned in our mind, but because of all these beliefs we have, like even things that you're hearing me say right now, are going to be hard for you to understand. But if you can just come at it from an accepting way to say, hey, that's his view, maybe I don't share it, that's totally fine. But when you get anti and you get angry about it, that's your worry, that's your anger. That's your body mind working. You're really affecting your soul body, your cellular level of your body. You're putting them toxins in your body. It's nothing to do with me. But everyone has an opinion, everyone's got a voice, and we're allowed to share it today. You're allowed to share yours. But if you've got something to say, you need to say it if you think it's going to help people. Okay, we need to learn to let things go and to get into a state of flow. We've got to remember there's also a beauty behind us. Okay, we have an aura, and we have a light, but sometimes the light that we have within, right, we're all bright. Never for a moment ever think that you are less of a person than anyone else. Do not think that the color of your skin, your age, your sex, your job, or anything determines who you are in the social scale. You know, it doesn't matter if you're wealthy or if you're poor, if you're middle class. But you need to remember that all of this stuff doesn't matter now, because we need to start to allow our light that we all have from birth. Okay, it's our birthright that we have this light, and it's our birthright to be happy. So allow this light to come forward. Okay, it's like the fog lights of a car. If you're driving down a dark, narrow lane, how will you help, you know, yourself see clearer? It's by turning on the lights. And we have this light. You need to start shining this light. And if you've got this light, you need to be speaking up. You need to be telling people about things that you might know. Okay, not to scare people, to help them. Okay, because there's a lot of us that are living on a 3D world right now, and there's some of us who are living in a 5D world, and the 5D world is a new experience for a lot of people. You know, there's a lot of things happening in that world. People are living in a 4D world where they're just delving into these things, of these ideas. They know there's something out there, but they don't know if they believe it yet. Okay, 3D world is when you're basically attached to earthly possessions. You still think that your life is about the car, the money, the house only. Okay, anything beyond that, okay, you might have your kids and your wife, and you think that's your life, that's great. But you know, when we're able to look beyond all of that, and we're starting to connect to something within ourselves, a higher consciousness, we're connecting to others, and we're able to see the other person as you, not just a person. When I say as you, is you can see them. People will have their faults. Okay, people are maniacs. People are crazy. That's fine. But what I mean is that we're all interlinked. Okay, and the reason you might get upset with others is because you're thinking towards it. You know, so from a spiritual stance, we try to stay in a neutral mind in situations. Not all of us can always do that, you know, because there will be stressful times. You need to look at positives and negatives at the moment, but look at something in a neutral mind, neutral space. Okay, went off the topic slightly there. Okay, so we've all got this light. Let's use it. If you're a light worker, you already know who you are and what you're doing. You continue doing what you're doing. You're spreading light, and you're helping and guiding people the best way you can. If you're wondering what a light worker is, you probably are one yourself. If you feel compassion, empathy, and you're just wanting to help people, and you're a kind person, and you get affected by things that you see, you're probably on the way to becoming a light worker. It's not a special title. It's just a way to I guess, get an idea of what people are doing. You know, I don't really coin myself as a light worker, but the kind of work I want to do is make sure people are awake, and people don't live a life of suffering. And if I can help people live a happy life, you know, a connected life. I always think that if you get through life and you've never connected to something called meditation or your higher self, or this feeling you can get of inner peace, and you haven't seen what's beyond this outside with our eyes open, there's a whole new world in there that we can access. We can alter our reality, we can change our outcomes, we can attract certain things, you know, and sometimes the journey's not easy, but some of us want to go through it because it's exciting and it's new, and for others they're just not interested. And I totally get it. I get the same. Some of my family might hear what I say and they respect what I say. I hope they respect what I say, but it's not for them. Totally fine, you know, but it's my truth, and I want to help people understand truth personified. You know, I want people to understand that before I had this beard on my face, I used to trim my beard, and until I understood what truth was, it was the fact that the beard will grow on my face every day, regardless if I shave it off or trim it off. And when I started to understand that level of truth, that's what the world is. The world will be truth no matter what anyone says, whatever I say, whatever people in the government say, whatever celebrities say, whatever the media says, whatever guru says, whoever says anything. Right? The truth will remain truth, and the only person who knows truth is the source. And if we can connect to source, we will understand what truth is, and that will give us happiness. When we're doing things and we don't know why we're doing things, it's like being in a system, and when that collapses, you're going to be lost. Okay, so it's about finding meaning in what you're doing as well, not idolizing things or entities or scriptures or something, whatever that that's not really serving you, but you're just doing it as a ritual. And sometimes you don't know why you're doing it. Most of us don't know why we're doing it. A lot of us walk around unconscious, just doing things because we think that's the way we need to do things, and that's just life because we've been told that. Okay, so I was trying to keep this video short, but I'll keep on carrying on. Alright, there will be a new site to be seen. Okay, and these will be of the colours blues and purples. This will be from In the Skies, and it will be in your awareness. When you close your eyes, there's something switching on. Okay, so look out for that. We need to remember to keep clearing, and to help the clearing, we need to connect to the moon's energy. Okay, and this energy is a much softer one than the sun. It's a feminine energy, and especially for males right now, and females as well, is when we're connecting into a feminine energy, we're able to not be so hot-headed, not to be so anxious and fearful and angry. We're able to be loving, calmer, more, I don't want to say emotional, maybe more sensitive. How you would look at Mother Earth, how you would look at a mother's status in their true grace. That's how we need to look at the moon energy, and we all have it. If we can connect to this softness within us, it can make this current situation a lot easier for everyone. Okay. Now, if you are a sensitive person, and highly sensitive, sometimes you feel a lot of compassion, and you don't know why people get affected. Someone's been called a name, or you're watching a video, and you really get upset by watching that. You keep it in. Okay, you need to be able to find a way to clear that energy from your field. And this might happen to a lot of people who are doing light working, who is a light worker or a healer, or people that don't even know they're healers or light workers yet, and they're just feeling a heaviness. Now, a way to do this is bring your hand on your stomach and ask your angels to clear the toxicity. How do you say that? Toxicity. The toxins, I'll just say, the toxins of your pain with their healing magnet. Ask for them to lift the energies of fear, anger, jealousy from my neck, my back, and my shoulders. Ask them to, this is very important, ask to please help me feel compassion for those who may have sent lower energies my way or your way, so they may be healed by the divine love. And then thank your angels. Now, what's important at times like this is, I said we're showing our true colors, and this is also a time where we are getting anxious, angry and frustrated with people, and we're wondering why people still haven't gone inside when people are telling us to go inside. People are overworked, people are really concerned of the times coming up, probably have no savings or money, jobs, employment, and everyone's feeling it. Okay, how you get through this is now where it all matters. Okay, it's not the life that matters, it's the courage you bring to it. So we need to bring our courage really into our lives right now. We need to be able to not judge and hate people, but you know what, not even bless them either, but just accept that's the way they are, and let, you know, let them be healed. Send the intention that if other people are in real dark times now, sending real bad energy out, let them be healed. You don't want to be sending them negative things back. That's just going to add to the fire. There's going to be things and situations and cases that are going to really probably surprise you in the next couple of weeks, that have already started to unfold. There's going to be, without me saying too much, there's going to be arrests that are being made. There's going to be shifts in all types of areas of your life. Nothing to worry about, nothing to fear about, but it's all working towards the good. It's come a bit earlier than scheduled, and when I'm talking about good and bad, I'm not talking about this heaven and hell or devil and angel war. I'm talking about a very real war. The system we've been living in is collapsing, and this has been happening for a while because people have become more awake. People are now saying, hey, I think it's time we live a bit free and not controlled by what we can do, what we have to do, and what we're being told to do, because freedom of free speech is not free speech anymore. So a lot is changing. A lot will be literally resetting. Okay, that's the key word I want you to take away. There's a major reset happening in all aspects. I just want to say watch this space, but when this does happen, and things are going to happen, just be prepared and be calm. Okay, by now you've probably stocked up with your food. You know, do the right thing, and if you haven't got supplies, just call family members, friends, put it out on social media. People will help you, because we are good people. A majority of us are good people, willing to help, not hoarding food or, you know, being in a selfish state right now where, you know, you're sitting on tremendous tons of food, and there's people right next door to you who probably haven't got anything because they didn't make it to the store because they're probably working in the hospitals, or that they're the elderly and they haven't been able to make it to the stores. So let's think about others in times like this. But there's also going to be people who look bad in your eyes right now, who look bad right now in your eyes, and they are going to become the ones that help us. And it's unbelievable. When I learned that, I hope it's true in a weird way, but again, let's watch this space and see what happens with that. Okay, it's also time to cut the cords, break old habits, break them thoughts that haven't served you for a long time. Any attachments of any past relationships, friends and family. You know, sometimes we hold these attachments, not physical attachments, we hold these invisible anchors, cords to arguments we've had, things that haven't been relieved, and it's hard, to forgive. But when you can forgive, your life will just go full flow ahead, because, you know, you're still holding on to something while people have forgot. So let the burden and that weight that you're carrying off your mind. Let them go. You know, it's not worth it. Just let whatever's happened in the past be. Whatever relationships haven't worked be. Friends you're not speaking to, relationships that didn't work out, people who backstabbed you, people who are cunning, or whatever happened. You know, there's many situations. Just let it go and move forward. Okay. Ooh, I told you, a pretty heavy session today. So, coming up to the end, okay, it's important we all know that we do have an invisible but very powerful light, and it comes in the form of a sword. Okay, it's an extension of our arm. Now, this light sword, this will help us cut these old ties. You know, even when the sky looks red with death, You know, it will help cut all them old beliefs, and it will help you see clear again. We can see blue skies at the moment. I haven't seen blue skies for a long time. We all have the strength and we all have the power, so not one person has more power than anyone. Just remember, you have the power. It's just you connecting into that power, tuning into something that, to be honest, you probably don't even know you have. But with a bit of work, with a bit of guidance, you can definitely get this energy and this power working or activated within yourself. Okay, so we must become angels, and I know I'm using this word a lot, and for many you probably just don't understand what I mean by angels right now, but many of us have good intentions. Not all of us are bad people, okay? And we need to learn to accept that we are not only godly, but we are angels too, and we need to learn to free ourselves, let our wings fly, let them, when you see people and you're just like, wow, what an angel, she came to my need, he came to my need. And it's not always about physically looking like an angel, it's just that you do things what we've been told angels do, and these people exist. They're here to help us. We're here to help you. You're here to help me. We're all interconnected, and we need to be working as one right now. Okay, we see fire, but trust that we are blessed and we are protected. Our wings are sharp as steel, and we all have the power within us, if we choose to either be weighed down with these heavy wings or take flight. So you have to choose now. The real test of these times is really about everyone's character. It's going to be, as I said, a time of not only our own characters, our family's characters, what's happening out there, people that you've deemed to be influencers and celebrities, actors, and all sorts. A lot will be being flipped. That switch will be being flipped, and some truths might be coming out. But I don't want to really mention too many, because some of it might be speculation, although I know some of them are true. For this video I don't want to go too much into it until things actually get more out there in the media, so then I can talk about a little bit more about that. Okay. But things will be happening, okay? So basically, just be ready to hear, be prepared with what people are going to say, and the kind of things you're going to hear. Don't take it as a shocking news, because a part of this whole life structure we've got to look at is when you look at it with awareness, and you're not a part of the system. It's easy to look at. When I say system, it's like you're in this virtual reality, and when you can look at it like from a different perspective, we look at the world from an outsider's perspective. So we see how an agenda or a plan, how a game is started with the objective, and we see the end goal. And when you know these, every little movement in between is never a coincidence. All of it just seems strategically planned, so nothing really takes you off guard. So with every major event, so some of you might be younger, some of you might be older, everything that you've seen in your life that's changed how we live as a human race has been orchestrated. Again, don't believe me, go do your research, and there's a lot of links out there. What I know is just what I know. There's many more experts and many more influential and more educated people about certain particular areas of certain events that we've witnessed as human beings in our life. I can tell you more from my perspective, but again, if you're interested, go and explore these, and now just question things, like become childlike, start questioning what it used to be like when you were a child, and how you're just inquisitive all the time about life. Now as adults we've stopped asking questions, and when we start asking questions, the world seems a different way. Ask questions about me, You know, don't think that I'm speaking truth either. Although I come from a very vulnerable, and I'm hoping from a very pure way to deliver this information. Do your research on me. It's, you know, it's fair due diligence for those of you who are thinking, hey, who is this guy telling me what to do? Just come out of nowhere, maybe. But I have been doing this work for a long time, but I've really never spoken about this in particular. Okay, now the sun's going down and I think I might be losing light, but we've got to remember there are 3 wars happening on right now. The 3 wars are that there is a mind war with fear. Okay, so something like this with coronavirus, there is a very real virus, that's fine. Okay, but there's also a mind virus. Okay, the fear, the stress, the worry is affecting our immune system. It's really affecting our health, our mental health. We can't think straight, we get angry, we get agitated, we're feeling self-contained. We don't know what's happening, people aren't telling us, and you know, we're getting panicked because we don't know whether we've got food or not. You know, just on that note, you know, we've got friends who work in supermarkets and they're saying there's so much food out there, so don't panic. You know, they've got truckloads and crates full, so it's nothing to worry about. Okay, and even the government are telling you not to worry about food, so don't go out there mad about trying to buy a pallet of rice for no reason, because that's going to last you a goddamn long time, if you're eating it yourself anyway. Okay, the second war that's happening is a biological chemical war, which is the virus itself. It's being fueled with the technology like 5G, which doesn't really help, so that activates it to a next level. I'm going to do another meditation and practice which strengthens the aura. This is good for people who are worried about 5G, and strengthening the aura is the solution to that. Your aura is this magnetic field that we all have around us, and I'll give you a solution when someone walks into a room and you're like, wow, they look angelic, they look powerful, they just walk in, they've got confidence, or whatever it is. That's an aura. Okay, that's an energy that they have. So we want to really strengthen that, because that can deflect these waves, which, if you don't know about 5D, it's a technology which is being advertised as a way for us to have faster broadband internet speeds and make everything faster. But I think a lot of it, what you're not hearing, is the truth that it's being used in military to control crowds disbursement. So military use it when there's crowds, and it's a frequency that really gets to people at a very cellular level, and the frequencies really distort your process and make you feel a bit crap, and it's just, imagine like a big microwave, all these waves going out. So the links I've heard between coronavirus and 5G is that this is being activated a lot easier, a lot more impactful, and people in these areas of high 5G are being affected by it. And when looking at some of the stats and everything, it kind of seems real, but again, do your own research on that. You don't need to believe me about that. Okay, the last war is we've got your mental war, we've got your biological war, and the third war that we are currently living in is that okay, so just want to clarify that, because I'm just looking at my notes. The first war is a biological chemical war. Okay, so let's say that's the coronavirus. I should have looked at my notes before I said it, because I put it in different order. The second war that we're having is on the human psyche, okay, our consciousness, our mental states, and that's also being controlled with things like 5G, and information, and certain, dare I say it, like vaccines and stuff. Again, do your research. It's just things that are coming to light. And also this war of bad versus evil. It sounds like a little bit like Star Wars right now, where if you don't know who the bad guys are in the world right now, it's usually the people that you're not actually seeing as the bad guys. I want that to sink in just for a moment. It's the people that you see as the bad guys right now are actually probably not the bad guys. The people who you're not seeing is the people you need to be a bit concerned about. So there is something happening, and that's positive news. The world is changing, as I said, and people, are being exposed. Things are changing for the better, and it was only a matter of time. So there's a war happening there, and you can probably say that there's loads of wars. I also say one of the biggest wars we've got is in the minds, because right now we're not free. We're in an information age where we don't know how to handle the information, and that's destroying our immune system, our nervous system. We know too much, but we don't know how to practice most of it. We want experience now, which is a good thing, but so much information is bombarding us, so we've got too much choice as well. Okay, so just to summarize or wrap up, actually, now a lot of it might sound really out there what I've said. Some of it might actually not even sound detailed at all, and you're probably thinking, hey, good video, what was the point of me spending 50 minutes watching it? I just need to get this off my chest. I need to tell you what I know and what I feel, and if you appreciate it, great. I'm not going to say like, share, or whatever. It's just something I need to do to make sure I'm doing my bit for humanity, and hopefully people can awaken, or people can just see a little bit more than what's really happening. And lastly, as I said, things right now will look random. There will be resets and meltdowns, and it's okay, let them be, don't panic, it's fine. And patience will pay. Okay, we just need to have patience. We're hearing things of like 3 months, we're hearing 2 weeks, we're hearing there's going to be a phase of darkness, no internet, no banks, no cash points working, and all these kind of things. Be prepared is probably the best advice. We have no idea what's happening. This is what's being said, and these are kind of messages I've been intuitively being able to receive. So let's see what happens with that. Okay, now lastly is you basically need to be the person you want to be right now. Be the person that that you would want someone else to be. Practice some values that you have learned through your practices, whether it be spiritual, whether it be through education, whether it be through some self-development course, whether it be life experience. Whatever practices and values you have, we all have kindness deep down. I don't care if you're the most evil person in the world, or whoever, if you're being told or being titled a villain in life. You all have kindness. We all have a heart. Even the worst bad people do. So we want to send love to them, and we want to make sure that we all together collectively get through this. And we need to serve people, protect them, connect with others, connect with yourself, see everyone as equal. The normal stuff. Because we're all in it together. The age of Aquarius, and the Matrix age of Aquarius is something else I'll talk about in another video, but it's here, truly going into a new age, a new state, but the darkness has to come up full force for it to really crumble. Okay, so there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a matrix that we live in that's collapsing. Humanity, we will rise as a collective, and we'll be able to see the other person as the same as you, as us. We'll see each other as one. So panic and fear right now is the illness, and we just need to be able to resolve that, use meditations, use practices that we've learned and we've been teaching and that we've been seeing all our life, It's time to get all of these things in place. Teachers and people, healers, can come out and really help a lot of people. I'll be doing a lot of meditations across my social media channels. Check them on my website, chazfly.com. My Instagram is chazfly, FLIY. And Facebook, I'll try as much as I can doing live videos. And if this helps you, feel free to share it to someone. But my intention is just to whoever's watching, is to see something and be inspired by it, get some knowledge, maybe awareness. Maybe you hate the whole video. It doesn't affect me. I'm just trying to do something from the goodness of my heart to help you. And if I'm a conspiracy theorist, please, that's it, I am, but don't see myself as that. I want to be seen as, just someone trying to help people, and finding truth, because that's what life's about. So, see ya.